Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. Look, if you're trying to get a business loan or a business line of credit card and you can't get into Navy Federal, well, I'm going to show you some other credit unions you should really take a look at because it's much easier for to get into these credit unions. Plus, they give you larger lines of credit and loans as business credit cards also. So they give you larger amounts of money than Navy Federal. Okay, so if you're trying to get a business loan, a business line of credit, a business credit card, you need to take a look at some of these here credit unions because they're much easier to go in. Now, a lot of people like Navy Federal because they're nationwide. Okay, now some of these here credit unions may be geological to your area or whatever, but again, there's quite a few here that I'm gonna talk about. Now, the first one is Affinity Business. Okay, Affinity Credit Union, right? Now with Affinity Credit Union, it's Experian 508. All right, now here's the thing about it, they are check system sensitive. All right, now the way to join them is through the New Jersey coalition. All right, but they do offer business loans, business lines of credit, business credit cards at higher limits than what Navy Federal offers. Okay, so your average credit score for them is about I would say you probably want to approach them with at least a 640 or higher credit score. All right, then the next lender is DCU, Digital Credit Union. Now with DCU, we know that they pull Equifax 5, which is a mortgage score. Okay, and yes, they do check systems. All right, reach out for schools association. All right, it's about maybe $5 or $10 or something like that. It's not a whole lot, but at the same time, we know that DCU, they offer no credit check loans with bad credit for up to $2,000. Okay, so that's on the personal side, but on the business side, they offer the business loans, business credit cards as well. All right, then the next one is Consumer Credit Union. Now with Consumer Credit Union, you have to join the Consumer Co-op Association, which is about $5 for membership. Now the interesting thing about them is that they would probably look at your Vantage score, your TransUnion Vantage score, in order to get you approved. All right, but their loans, their business loans, go up to $50,000. Okay, because I tell you guys that although you may have a community bank or credit union, they don't report deposits. Okay, and I do mean that. So that's the reason you have to also add in. So if you're trying to get business funding, these credit unions I'm talking about is great. All right, but you still need to add in one of the major banks like Citibank because they report to Experian Business, Equifax Business, Small Business Financial Exchange, and Dun and Bradstreet. Then you have a Capital One. Capital One reports to Experian Business, Equifax, Small Business Financial Exchange, Dun and Bradstreet. Then you have American Express, Small Business Financial Exchange. You have Wells Fargo. You also have Chase Bank. Now, Chase Bank is very important because they have more flexibility when it comes to business. The only thing about Chase Bank is because of that 524 that a lot of people end up getting hung up on, right? But I told you, when you're dealing with Chase and say that you have 524, so let me explain it. When you have 5 open revolving accounts within a 24-month period, that's a 524 for Chase. Now, keep in mind, if it's a authorized user or say that you have a personal loan, if you call them and ask them to do a manual review of your credit report, they won't count those. They'll just count the open revolving credit cards. All right, so that's what you have to keep in mind if you're trying to get around that in order to get access to funding, business funding from Chase. All right, that being said, another thing that I think is very important that a lot of people are missing out on is choosing the right NAICS code. The right NAICS code, the reason is because a lot of financial institutions, if you have a high risk business, they won't touch you. So if you're trying to do real estate investing, high risk NAICS code. Restaurant, high risk NAICS code. If you're selling ammo, weapons, high risk NAICS code. Now, if you're trying to figure out, well, what's the best NAICS codes, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. But you also have gambling as a high NAICS code. You have porn, like having a porn site and stuff like that is a high risk NAICS code. CBD, marijuana, okay, there's still high risk NAICS code. Credit repair. I know a lot of people, they're trying to start their own credit repair business and they're trying to get a bank account and they're trying to get funding. It's a high risk NAICS code. So you need to schedule one-on-one consultation so I can show you how to get around that so that you'll be able to fund your business without using those high-risk NAICS codes, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, the next credit union we're talking about is Andrews Federal Credit Union, all right? So you can join the American Consumer Council for them, and they can do a soft pull on their experience to see if you qualify. But they offer the business loans as well. All right, then you have America First Credit Union, because again, you may be self-employed, okay, or you may be a door dasher, or you may be a YouTuber, a freelancer, or something like that, and you're trying to figure out, you know, which banks will actually give me money. Looking at some of these credit unions, again, credit unions, and plus you have to add on one of the major banks. That's what's going to help you, okay, guys? That's very important. Now, again, in reference to the business structure, now there's a lot of third-party companies out there that will give you business funding even if you have bad credit. But if you're not structured in the right type of business, they won't deal with you. So if you're working as a sole prop, you need to be restructured into an actual business that really protects you. All right, so you definitely want to do that, especially like if you're an Uber or Lyft driver, attorneys are after you. Okay, the reason they're after you, they know that you're an easy target. So you don't want to operate yourself as a self-employed operator when driving Uber and Lyft. It's just dangerous for you on the legal side, as well as just bringing people into your vehicle or whatever. You never know what they say, what they do, but you don't want to personally carry that liability on, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now, going back to American First Credit Union, all right? So they work with self-employed. The business loans go up to $50,000. Now, again, if you don't have like a regular paycheck, what they do, they look at your business bank account. They look at your tax statements and stuff. And the good thing about these credit unions, also, just keep in mind that where most banks, they want you to be in business for at least 18 to 24 months in order to give you funding. With a lot of the credit unions, they're give you a shorter amount of time. But one of the things I always tell you guys is very important. When you open up your business bank account, please, if you can, make daily or weekly deposit. This helps your business bank rating. Now, in reference to will it affect you with the credit unions, because they don't report to the business credit bureaus, but with those major banks, yes. But at the same time, to just keep that relationship so that they will give you access to more funding, I would still encourage you to do about $25, $50, $125, at least daily or weekly, all right, to help build up that relationship so you can get access to more funding. And American First Credit Union, they do pull Equifax, okay? So if you're trying to get business funding and stuff like that from some of these credit unions, they do pull Equifax, all right? Now, what happens if you can't get any loans from these credit unions? Well, where do you go? Well, if you have at least a 600 credit score, you want to look at DreamSpring. Now, with DreamSpring, they use TransUnion, okay? Now, they will offer loans from $1,000 up to $250,000. So DreamSpring is definitely one of those ones you may want to consider. But if you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off of your personal credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.